This is Group Echo. France is in the voice chat. They don't know about the tournament voice chats that I've created. But, you know, if they want to use the regular voice chat, they can. And if people cause problems, then that's up to them. Oh, my throat's not already feeling sore. If I have to take a cough drop at the very get-go, it's not going to be great. Close this door just a little bit. Get the hats in picture. We have a little French guy right here in the background. There's the map draft already. So we can actually stop the music. And we can just focus entirely on this. So we have Switzerland and France, or Auriko, as the only member of France who is relevant. Because it's Auriko versus the world here. But, yeah. Should be pretty exciting. What else is happening in the world of AoE? I mean, it's all like, what is it? Hera versus... oh, we have maintenance. Yikes. Hera versus Louis money match. Yeah. Best of 7 show match. Hera's doing a POV. Everyone's casting that right now. But we're here. We're talking about Deathmatch. We got the maps coming up. Switzerland, of course, is the underdog here. So we're going to have to see what the plan is. They're going to go straight to Team Islands. That's the play. Is that I think the lower seeds, your best chance is to win on islands. It's the least practiced by the top seeds, and yeah, it'll be interesting. And outcrop. Okay, so far I'm liking this. Ban runestones. If you ban runestones, I'm rooting for Switzerland for the rest of the tournament. Doesn't matter against my own team or anything. You first ban runestones, I'm rooting for you the whole way. If anybody wants my unwavering, undying support. That's the play. Canyon Lake. That's a pretty interesting one. I like this a little bit more. At least the hills add an interesting element. I don't necessarily know how I feel about the water. Vinland Saga getting banned by France. Interesting. I feel like the top teams usually can try to take advantage on Vinland Saga to take advantage of weaker openings from less experienced teams. We don't have runestones. Ban runestones, please. Get a non-runestone smash draft. Ban Golden Stream makes sense, but at least Switzerland has picked the two most Team Islands is maybe not quite as interesting, but Coast Mountain is my favorite, I think, of the map pool, just because it is like 3 different games going on at once, right? Kaosan, it's runestones. No. Oh, it was almost a legendary draft, but we are doing runestones into probably Team Islands and Coast Mountain, Outcrop, Golden Lakes. I mean, these are fun maps. I'm down with all of these. I wish I don't know how I feel about Golden Lakes. I haven't really seen any good match besides the USA versus Sweden on Golden Lakes. I think until we get to the playoffs, Golden Lakes isn't really gonna have a time to shine. I think it adds a very interesting dynamic of being a gold heavy map in a map pool or in a mode where being gold heavy is insanely important. So let's see what this is. We got the maps. They're gonna do the blind pick. Pool 4, Pool 1. We're seeing a Pool 1 being played by France. Interesting. Maybe they want to give what is people argue is the weakest Civ pool a chance. So Switzerland is 4. And France is Pool 1. So, like, you have the Celts, Huns, and Hindustanis, like 3 of the top tier civs, right? Like, the joke was, I think, from Keller and Otter, if you're a lower seeded team and you want to win one game, you play Pool 1 and you just do a map on runestones with Celts, Huns, and Hindustanis, and you should beat most other combinations in the game. So that's one thing that was supposed, but France is technically the favorite in this matchup, so they're not really trying to do that. Maybe they believe in this. Maybe they want to try this out. Maybe they want to try the Armenians before the patch comes through, and see how they get one last feeling on how they are without the Rams. Live. Where am I? I mean, I'm not a top player, so I guess I'm not on there. Deathmatch Nations Cup. I should be there, right? Oh. Oh, this hasn't gone through. That's the problem. Is it still on edit mode? Pending changes? Yeah, I think it's still pending changes. Maybe not. But, browser. We have Deathmatch. But yeah. Lobbies. Probably take a minute, unless they're already in, which would be wild. Now, the question is, will the lobbies be made correctly? Will spectators be on? There are some interesting... A lot of Mitchy DM lately. Anomaly kind of made a big tournament for that. We're still waiting on the finals for that one. I'm excited to... I'll probably hop in for at least a game if the time works out. Maintenance starts in 2 hours. I mean, if we go 5 wood games, we might have a question. I'm just gonna ping the other... Rico is being messaged. Oh, yep. Got the Civ draft. Got the Civ pool. We do have DMNC Kawasan, Aizen, Animality, Thranduil, Hamza, Poka. There's Poka. Why is Poka not playing in the tournament? Apparently International B just can't reach him. And raids. Alright, I pinged Sniper and Turfox about the potential maintenance, which would be hilarious if we got into that situation. Fingers crossed that it doesn't happen. If we get five wood games out of this, that's gonna be wild. The official ruling is they'll have to just finish it at some other point. But what's up, Warpath? Poka, what does a Poka does? That's fair. Yeah, that is something that is very enjoyable for this entire experience for me. Is being a pseudo admin in this way has made me interact with a lot of the DM community, and I've started to get a little feel for who some of the individuals are and stuff, and it's been fun kind of getting involved in this community for sure. We're still waiting on the room to be made. Unless they were... No, okay, that's the same code. I think they're just waiting for the room. I'm gonna pop a Sepicol. My throat is a little bit stressed. But there are definitely some interesting folks. Definitely have some individuals, yes. Yes. There we are, queuing up. While we're waiting for this to kick off, we can actually take a look at the groups, or the teams. For France, we've already seen them before. They have some very solid players. Auriko, Ciskhan, Lighty, Javisty, Liroxs. I don't think they've been able to get Liroxs. I need to fix this, actually, because Liroxs does have a page, but that's just the wrong one. Liroxs, a former top 5 team game DM player. Don't know if they'll be showing their face at all, simply because scheduling with them has been a bit of a pain from what I understand. Like, they were like, hey, you want to join the team? And there's no response for multiple days. And then we have Switzerland. Now, Switzerland, a lot of these people I don't know, but I've heard daehiise was in CMOD and did really well, and is also, like, specifically according to Otter, known for being a better coach, like a solid coach and stuff. So if daehiise and daehiise's a 2K player, right? If daehiise is able, this has been the biggest thing in this tournament, is there's a lot of RM players who are very skilled. Do they have the expertise or the knowledge and practice DM, right? Like, do they actually put in the effort to learn how to play DM compared to RM? And coaching is a big deal there, right? So if daehiise's been putting in some effort, getting their teammates to properly train and like learn their opens and everything, they could be dangerous. France has struggled a little bit more than I think than some people were expecting. I think they were expecting France to be a lot more strong, have a much stronger showing against some of the other teams, but they lost to Netherlands in the show match. They lost to USAA. I think they took a game, but I think some players like expected a bit more out of France. So there might be a slight weakness that Switzerland, if they've come prepared, could take advantage of. I assume they're doing the lobby trick. Another. Still waiting on the 6th player from Switzerland. You can take a quick peek and just see how it's going for Hera. Is he full focus or is he chatting? I hope he's full focus. I know he can do both, but 2-3. Lewis is up. That's impressive. I know you can do both and everything, but it's so much obvious like when top players are full focus versus streaming, because like it's only like a 5 or so % difference in skill, but it matters, right? So. But yeah, I'm worried if we take too long in between each game, we're going to have a maintenance admin decision. Which on one hand would be pretty funny. On the other hand, if it does happen, we'll have to see how their timing is, but I might do my... I've wanted to do like a mini podcast episode or something, get like Otter or someone. And this is not planned and I'm not doing it today. But like do a midway point or something of... I wanted to do like every round, but the rounds have gotten spicy. Don't need to cause any problems, Warpath. But I want to do like each round, do like a little summary sit down and be like, oh, let's go over what's happened, how the teams have played. Because like I've watched a bunch of them. I haven't seen them all. I know Otter's been watching, I think, all of them because Otter lives and breathes this, which I respect. So we're just waiting on the 3rd Switzerland player right now. There's Niroxs. But, you know, a little bit of a DM chill would be DM and chill, little fireside chat would be pretty neat. I do need to ask, actually, while I'm thinking about this. But looks like, yeah, it's Runestones. We got Pool 1 versus Pool 3. It is, I always like when Runestones is either the 1st or the 5th map. I don't like Runestones being in the middle. I like either starting on Runestones because it's the most balanced, or ending on Runestones because it's the most balanced. If we have to play Runestones, right? So, so then again, the problem then is that, like, how do you... Because Runestones, you kind of want to use some of your power civs, because you do rely on, like, that's the most skill testing. And, like, the better DM civs are kind of the better DM civs. We do have a team island, so we can actually work our way backwards from that a little bit. As far as pools, like, I think Wei are decent. Shu, probably Malay. Chinese, I mean, you have Chinese, Spanish, and we've seen Pool 4 just win on team islands almost all the time. So that's probably what the plan is. I think Dravidians are decent on water. Wu are fine on water. When you use the poles, Portuguese are probably fine on water. France doesn't have the... And Turks, I mean, Turks you don't want to use on a pure water map. I think you want to use them more. You know if there's a gap between group stage and playoff? Or if it's been discussed at all? Kind of hoping the playoffs don't start till after the 18th. I think it's supposed to be... Let me just double check that we haven't started. that is something I just kind of not necessarily specifically that, but I've started bringing up with Sniper and Turfux what the plan of playoffs is, because like, do they want to do another live drawing or something? In which case, a little more than 12 hour, like 24 hours notice this time would be nice if we want to do a live drawing like we did for the seeding, which I personally think that would be pretty fun. I just, would much rather have a little bit more forewarning. So I've started that conversation. I know a few people have asked about like, oh, what's the deal with playoffs and Silver League and stuff like that. And so, unfortunately, I think there is a little bit of a gap in communication in that sense, but I think we're going to try to figure it out. Oh, Jesus. Favorite freaking Chris Hamza. No spectator. Rude. Raids. Tempo. Bit. Daywalker. All these legends are just grinding DM, which I love to see. Are we remaking the map? DM Coast Mountain. Hoka. Animality. Eyes in our plan. Nice, nice. There's a lobby. Auriko was sending me the links to the drafts, so I wouldn't be surprised if I get sent a link to a lobby. But, yeah, there we go. They're recreating. I assume this is to do the unranked. Well, this is unranked now. Are they going to join? There's a spec delay. But yeah, Warpath, if you want to at least message like Sniper and Turfox and just be like, hey, if it had like just put that in at, or even like feedback and suggestions. Not to really, I don't want to necessarily start too much of a flame war or anything, but that is feedback. Like I've heard it now. If that hasn't been decided, maybe that's at least a data point that people might be able to put in. Because I think we are going to have to be more strict on scheduling when it comes to the league than we are with these rounds. For better or worse, I have some thoughts about the whole scheduling system that we did for this. But that is neither here nor there, and that's for something to think about for later. Unranked, probably just okay. So they might not be doing the full swap, but we are getting pings. We should be starting shortly. I'm a little bit disappointed there's not more people hopping in here. Maybe once we start. I mean, at the same time, there's a pretty hype show match going on, right? So, yeah. I think a lot of people who might be in here are watching the show match. And there's the DM Runestones? No. Still unranked. We're trying to get the ranked and everything to go properly, but that might be something I do. I could use. I mean, he is Adobe. I'm house sitting for a friend, so that means I have an entire 8 hours of doing nothing, except chilling with her dog. Lewis is still relatively new. Lewis, I believe, yes and no. When you say relatively new, like Age of Empires terms, is old, right? So he's newer to the top level. I think I saw some comment about oh yeah, he had some really cool T90 video or a tournament match 3 years ago or something. So he's been working his way up. But as far as being a top 10 player, I think so. I don't know if he is a top 10 player or something. We can actually go check this out. But he is definitely a newer top player, right? UK 24s, yeah, so he's young. Onimaru. Because yeah, he's in he was doing T9's Gold League and stuff. So So yeah, he is. I think he's newer, right? Like, when did he get signed to Onimaru? Um, yeah, he was definitely not at the level of doing show matches against Hera, but now he is, right? Like, Gold League versus Platinum League, top 8 at Platinum League and stuff. That's a pretty big difference, right? So he's been working his way up. Still waiting on them. Onimaru. Lewis joined in 2025. He is teammates with freaking Andy. And as we all know, freaking Andy is the GOAT. He is arguably the best DM and RM player. You could argue that Viper is still there, but Viper doesn't really play DM until this tournament. So I view him as an inactive DM player. So right now the best all around, and I also view Empire Wars as not a separate mode. I view it as just competitive or Red Bull version of RM, simply because it is just a way to make sure tournaments don't go over time, which honestly I respect. I respect Empire Wars purely from an admin perspective, and for actually making score matter for once. Like I do like how score has always just been a thing of like tracking your opponent and stuff, but now that it's actually relevant is kind of neat. And T90 had a great game where I think Hera actually even jumped in randomly and just spectated T90's competitive game with it, and where it went to score, and T90 won based on score. I think, but I also still consider Empire Wars as just slightly different flavored RM compared to Deathmatch, right? So I think the two pillars of the game are Deathmatch and RM, and the only person who's competing at the highest levels for both of them regularly is freaking Andy. So, in my opinion, right now he is the best overall AoE 2 player when it comes to the modes, the two pillars. Frost, you could argue as well, but I mean, freaking Andy is like top 10 in RM and like top 5 in DM, whereas Frost is top 1 in DM, but not top 10 RM, right? If Frost started competing like at the level that freaking Andy was, you could have an argument up there, but so we're just still waiting for the match to start. DE server maintenance creeps ever closer. And yeah, we're just waiting. I am shocked when people make sure to turn spec off, but oh, they started. Excellent. All right, let's get underway. Wait. Why is it still over here if they've start? I'm not going to worry about it. Thanks, Age of Empires. All right, at least we get to go right into it. Cool. I'm going to have to pause at the start. Maybe it was a restart or something, or a crash, or a drop. Please, Capture, just give us a chance to watch from time 0. I fucking just, it's not, like, it should be pretty trivial, right? Alright, casting. DM Nations Cup Pool E. Switzerland. France. And to, like, not auto set teams and stuff. There's there's a bunch of cool stuff, but it just like does itself as a disservice. Alrighty, let me just take a slug of water and we'll get going. No time to talk about the civs because I went right into it. But welcome to Deathmatch Nations Cup. Pool E, France versus Switzerland. In the red is Auriko playing the Huns. His pocket is Lighty playing the Hindustanis. And in the pink is Javisty playing the Burgundians. They're up against Team Switzerland's, whose first competition is today. We see daehiise with the Sicilians Feige, or the pocket Niroxs with Malians, and Feige with the Romans on the other flank. So far, looking like the opens are pretty solid. A little sloppy opening from Niroxs, but not getting punished as the pocket player. We'll see if there's any kills. We do see that daehiise and Feige both have sniped a villager and a second villager. Switzerland getting caught out here. A third villager going down. A little idle time from Auriko. Is this a drop? This might just be a drop. Nope, there's some action. Game's over. Yeah, okay. Something happened. That was too many villager kills to start out. Or did I DC or something? What is happening? Like, I don't want to ping the players. But that was, like, it looks like they dropped. 2 hours. Okay, we have a little bit of extra time. Estimated duration for 2 hours. Oof. Multiplayer. Find custom game. Game variant. Game mode. Deathmatch. Let's try it again. I don't know what's happening. It says they have a lobby. It says they have an ongoing game. We tried to join this ongoing game. That's a different Romans. I don't think I played the Romans before, right? Hun, Sicilian, Hindustanis, Romans, Burgundians, Malians. Yeah. Okay, now it's just getting weird. We might have to watch a rec of this. I don't know what's happening here. I don't get how there's, like... This is why we have maintenance, I guess. So game's still going on. It's not in the lobby anymore. I guess we'll try this again. Like, thank God for Capture Age, but we shouldn't have to have 5 different applications to spectate tournament settings. If they want the esports scene to be serious with Age of Empires. So, is the game live? What is happening? Is there, like, admin chat? I don't know what's, like... Sorry for this terrible experience for the viewers, but, like, I don't know what's happening. Okay, now the thing's gone. The game's still paused. Let's try restarting Age of Empires, I guess. I mean, I'm sorry, everyone. We might have to watch a rec if we can get the other thing. I don't know what's happening. Spectators being weird. I've tried to join the match multiple times. We joined the first match. It seemed like it was working, and then Switzerland killed 4 villagers with no response from France, and then the game ended. So then I was like, okay, it seems like it was probably a drop or something or a re or something. And then it showed that the same lobby was there, like the same spectator, like they had a lobby open and a game going at the same time. And then I tried to join the new one, and it's pauses at 0 seconds and then disconnects. So I might just be having a bad game or something. So it's on, like it says it's ongoing from 10 minutes ago, right? I refresh and it's not here anymore. So like theoretically they should still be playing. And I'm hoping they are. So I'll try to load again. But yeah, on what's like, and then if I go and try to find custom game, spectate game, game mode, deathmatch. This is, it's not here anymore. So we might just not have the match, which on one hand, I almost hope that they just had a match and it just didn't work for me. And so we can just do the rec at the end. Looks like it's not even alive anymore. Like the lobby's not even up. So because yeah, there's not playing Michi with fix. No. I'm messaging Auriko because I'm not seeing anything. Hopefully that doesn't distract them and they're in the middle of a match. Because now it looks like there's no match going on, right? So it looks like they're trying to recreate. They might be recreating it. Maybe this is going to be round 2, game 2. If it is, we'll just I'll get the rec game 1 and we'll cast it at the end. But I don't really know what's happening. So they're relaunching the lobby with runestones. Maybe the map will change. And if the map changes, we know that they played the game 1 successfully. If not, then there's some weird bug and something happened and they're trying to figure it out. I don't know where the communication is. This is why I have all the scheduling channels. Like if you do scheduling, if you talk about the map and the match and controversies and stuff in the scheduling channel, then we can see what's happening. But as of now, I'm not really sure what's happening. No response from Auriko. Hasn't swapped maps. I don't know what's happening. So we're at least in the lobby. But we are running low on maintenance time. So no response from Auriko. I could pop into their voice chat because they're in the DM Gaming voice chat and ask them. But I'd rather not. Also, my French isn't up to snuff. They're not He's not streaming, right? That's the wrong one. There's no POV, is there? We're looking for Ciskhan or Auriko. Probably could have just Googled, like, searched for this, but Yeah, not seeing any of them live, so at least we can't spectate their POV and see what the fuck's happening. Okay, so it's on Team Island. So game 1 happened. Okay, we'll just have to get the rec for game 1. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. I'll have to get the rec for game 1 and we'll cast it at the end. I mean, at least that's something to do during maintenance. I mean, if Auriko responds, then I can at least know who won for game spoilers. So at least, well, actually, if it's Team Islands, we know that France won, right? So we at least know France won because Team Islands is, spoilers, is Switzerland, right? So Runestones happened, France won. We're going to Team Islands next. So, I assume it was Sicilians, Bohemians, and Malians versus Hindustanis. Who else did we see? Burgundians and Huns. I think that was a 3. Hopefully. I should add a scoreboard here. We could just do a full scoreboard. That's something I might make for the playoffs. Huh. I mean, I know people have their own scenes, but I could do something like that for this. Something to think about. I could do a full, like, and add country flags and stuff. That would be pretty neat. But we're going to Team Islands. So actually, let me just actually, I'll do it once we get in there. We're adding Heidewolf instead of Niroxs. Niroxs looked like from the very little we saw, Niroxs had a pretty rough start. He wasn't pressured as a pocket, but his open was a little bit distanced away. So probably hasn't practiced the open quite as much. For Team Islands, if we look at we can get rid of a few things here. I assume Dravidians, Portuguese, maybe even the Aztecs, Wu, maybe the Poles. Like, you just burn some of your bad civs here if you're France. I expect to see Spanish and Chinese, and Romans or Malians. Or the Malay, or I mean, you probably want to say the Malay, or the Wei or Shu. Like, pool 4 is the water pool, right? So pool 4, I think definitely we're going to be seeing at least the Chinese. Chinese are like the Team Islands map for sure. What we've seen, the dragon ships are insane. That is, I think, if there's one thing we know about Team Islands in this tournament, it is that Chinese are arguably the best water civ in DM, just because those dragon ships seemed like they're the most broken things. Koreans are really strong. Spanish, like, there's all, like, obviously the good civs everyone knows, but, like, I feel like people were underrating the Chinese dragon ships just a touch, and then every single time we've seen them, they just, there's no counting them. Like, turtle ships are kind of on that board as well, but usually, like, turtle ships are used on, like, coast to mountain, where it's only dealing with, like, one thing. I think in the water changes, with how RM has tried to make water a little bit more interesting, it made it so that the unique units in Deathmatch are even more powerful than before. Like, I don't even think Viking longboats are any good anymore. Alright. Fingers crossed. We're going to return to main menu. Fingers crossed. Alrighty. At least looks like it's kind of working this time. So there's a Chinese, no Spanish. So we're saving Spanish for another map. But we have Malay, Chinese, and the Wei. So some arguably weaker civs on land being used here, which is kind of the benefit of Pool 4. And then for France, we have Portuguese, Dravidians, and the excuse me, and the Turks. So obviously very strong civs. I am going to actually check something real quick because I forget if the Portuguese. I just want to remind myself what the Portuguese naval bonus is, right? They get the Fetorias, which they can just spam Fetorias. Ships have extra HP. That's their big thing. Maps explore. Ships train 33% faster. Gunpowder has, yeah. So that's really strong. What else are we looking at? Wei and Malay. I just want to refresh myself. Wait, do we have the Way and Dravidians, I want to double check. Dravidians, they have... It doesn't look like they have, like... I mean, Docs plus 5 pop space actually is really good. That's actually real good. And then the way... It'd be crazy if this kicked in at the very start and Way just started, like, 40 villagers. Could you imagine? That would be insane. I actually kind of like that idea. Way don't really have much in the way of Navy. I think they're about to start. But they have, they have everything you need, from what I can see. Could you imagine if if their unique bonus kicked in Imperial Age and they just got like 12 villagers start, make the Chinese blush. All right, fingers crossed. I am going to go hide score. Nope. So France is up. But welcome to game 2 of Team Islands, or of France versus Switzerland. We have in the south, Team France, in the red, Portuguese being played by Auriko, Lighty playing the Turks, and in the purple we have Javisty with the Dravidians doing a back dock, or a side dock kind of. Team Switzerland trying to win on their home map. We have in the teal daehiise playing the Way, in the green Feige playing the Chinese, and Heidewolf playing the Malay. Right away we have the Harbors out. Harbors not very strong in DM with everything already fully upgraded. They don't get heated shot is what I think I remember hearing. But it is going to be a race to see who can control the water first. Of course, the Chinese should be looking strong with their dragon ships coming out right away. And we have the characters coming out to try to check on what the Chinese are doing, maybe deny them a little bit. One character's getting some free hits on this dragon ship, no reaction from them. And these ships could probably deny the villager and snipe the villager, and that would slow down the docks. But castles are going up on the sides. A nice little castle on this point is going to get ranged by cannon galleons at some point. But at least it is a very nice controlling choke point. Ships won't be able to get by very easily. And yeah, so far nothing too crazy. I don't think we do see 2 transport ships. So it looks like daehiise might be going for a little bit of a land play with the Way. The Way maybe not as strong in the water. So setting up those transport ships, try and secure some. There is a nice little open area, but we do have stables and siege workshops. Oh, daehiese's already over. daehiise already landed. Oh, and there's a castle going up in the face. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Okay. So T90 blind, I already missed my fight, and now there's some skirmishes going on in here. Dragon ships trying to be involved. A lot of action goes on, but I mean, the big question is going to be, this castle is going to go up, maybe snipe a few villagers. Heavy Heiguang cavalry are going to come over here, maybe snipe a villager or 2. Siege ram is already out, and this castle is going to get pressured. And I mean, the villagers are going to have to try to fight this. But the villagers run away, and these castles are going to go down. This is a nice little show. This is a very nice landing from daehiise. Going to cause some serious problems, but daehiise isn't really on water. I mean, there are some naval units coming out. We do see the galleons coming out, just trying to deal with this force on the side. But Javisty is going to have a massive advantage over here, since we do see the landing from Javisty, or from daehiise. But I mean, this is going to cause some serious problems. Javisty has nothing at home to deal with this, and he's like, this ram's going to go, this castle probably going down, the Heiguang. So Javisty's going to lose their land. We'll need some support from their allies, from the rest of France, to be able to support that. But I mean, they are kind of losing water since it is 2v3. I mean, we have some dragon ships over here not being pushed into this fight, and the force from Javisty is winning on this side. On this far side, we have Heidewolf, the Malay, versus the Portuguese. And I mean, the extra HP on these ships is massive, 187 galleons versus 155. And so it looks like this fight is slowly going the way of the Portuguese. I think that is a lot of numbers. We can just check real quick. We have a lot of army not helping out here, even with the cannon galleons trying to range some docks, which, like, yeah, hitting some docking castles is a very good idea. But you kind of need to worry about winning this fight first, right? Like, if you only highlight these, you have 48 versus 30. There are a bunch of cannon galleons mixed in there, I think, or some carracks as well. So a little bit of a hybrid army, and the dragon ships coming in from the flank, trying to hit this. But, I mean, the dragon ships have kind of lost the fight in the middle. Docks are going down for Feige, and this isn't looking great. Javisty has already won this as well, but, I mean, we're seeing a massive problem over here. We have Trebs out from Lighty, and, I mean, even if they've lost water right now, it does mean that Javisty might be taken out on the ground. Needs to escape. We do have some army on the ground for Auriko and everyone, but has do we have villagers safe? I mean, the villagers are trying to run away, but there's so much Heidewolf cavalry here that they're going to be able to snipe these vills. Would Javisty be able to just get taken out right away? I mean, at least Javisty has all the docks and everything and, like, a massive naval army. So, Heidewolf against the world. We're going to be seeing the ranges of these Dravidian cannon galleons start going around the back, and this could cause some problems. And, I mean, yeah, France is going to win the water, but, like, Javisty might just get knocked out from the game. Javisty has 6 villagers left, no TCs. Where are these vills? I don't see. Villagers are down here trying to rebuild. The Heidewolf need to defend. If the Heidewolf can find, there's no TC. Oh no, there's TC going up down here. Okay, so there is going to be some. Javisty does live to fight another day, but I mean this does mean that France has to fight on land. But they've lost so they've taken such a huge lead in water that this is the most interesting Team Islands game I think we've seen. I mean there's a lot of galleons over here from the Malay. The Malay, of course, what is their bonus again? We talked about this. Most of the docks are upgraded harbors. Fish traps are cheaper. Nothing else really bonus for the water. But they've kind of won this fight over here. They have the massive galleon force, and that can start causing some problems. We do see this annoying squad in the back, but no cannon galleons here to help arrange some buildings. In the meantime, this corner is still continuously patrolled by Javisty. And, I mean, this force is doing a pretty solid job of causing problems and stuff, but didn't manage to kill Javisty. Javisty is trying to rebuild here. Still only has 6 villagers, and has the production buildings keep going. A lot of rams and a lot of hussars coming out, which against straight halberdier isn't really where you need to be. We see the archery ranges going up to try to get some units to try to deal with this, but now that France is having to dedicate a lot more resources to try to regain this land army, I think Daisy's going to get pushed off here, but has managed to do a pretty solid job of harassing the hell out of Javisty. And like, yeah, they lost the water early on, but France had to dedicate so much to cleaning up this land incursion that Switzerland has taken back water. There's a lot of dragon ships. These dragon ships need to go clean this up, and then essentially they have full water control. And they do still have, like, yeah, they're losing this expansion, they're losing this landing, and it's gonna go get cleaned up, but they still have the landing. So, like, you add in some ranged units, and you can start wiping off the face of this corner. Right now, what France or Switzerland needs to do is try to deal with these docks and, like, make it so that it's very hard for France to try to get back onto water, right? Because they're going to lose this landing. Daisy needs to pack up and just stop making units out of here. And I think think they have. No more units coming out. And if you do, you just send them into raid. So this landing is getting cleaned up, but that is a lot of ground forces that need to be utilized by France and will just hang out here. So if you can prevent any landings from your opponents, then you're going to be fine. So these need to get going. We do see markets going up as well. Markets right here is very risky. That can easily be ranged. But, I mean, this damage was really nice. Kind of knocks Javisty out of the game. But they're not really taking advantage of the fact that they've taken back water, right? There's no cannon galleons going. There's the first Lutron from Feige, so that's going to be nice to start taking out some castles, taking out some things. The question is going to be, do we see any transport ships from France? They need to worry about getting water back. There's a bunch of Lutrons. But yeah, this has been cleaned up now. But there is so much army. That is... It doesn't show the total number I've selected, but that is a lot of ground forces that need to go somewhere. Like, you don't want to really just delete them, because, like, that's just a waste of resources. But if you can't transport them over, and they're not really doing anything, then you're just paying wages for people who are doing nothing. You see a castle go up over here, and with the galleys here dealing with these forces, this is going to be nice. And here comes a Lutron from Daisy. From Daisy, and this Lutron can start ranging this castle, start dealing with some of this, the Cape's forces. Not fight under the castle. Heidewolf a little bit focused elsewhere, trying to win the other corner. And now the back dock's going up from Auriko, trying to fall back. And, I mean, Switzerland is doing a really nice job here cleaning up the docks in the front. We do have some galleons hidden away. And, I mean, Lighty's making a good push in the middle. I think Feige moved to Carracks instead of dragon ships. I don't like that. I think the dragon ships are just your star here. Dragon ships and Lutrons, and you should be fine. And yeah, I think right now the problem is Switzerland might be a little bit too passive. And I mean, this push on this left side is really nice. And Javisty getting some slings to try to get back into the game and be a force to actually be involved. But Switzerland is just kind of like, I don't know. They had their advantage. They had their chance. They had an insane landing that took out one of the players, but they just really didn't push much of an advantage from it. They took back water, obviously, but they haven't even taken out this castle, and it's like, only Javisty is over here with like a small squad of ships, and you haven't taken out this castle yet. Finally, here come the Luchons, and they should be able to take this out and start harassing the corners. You do see this push on the side. We need to see some cannon galleons as well. There are some cannon galleons in here to deal with some of these buildings, so that is going to be nice. And yeah, France is definitely on the back foot, but they are kind of pushing back in the middle. The lack of dragon ships in the middle, I think, was a huge mistake. Carracks are nice, but like, I think dragon ships and Luchons are all unique. Carracks aren't really where you want to be. But we see more and more Carracks coming out, and I think this is a mistake. We see some really solid micro from Lighty taking out these Luchons, and there's not enough here to deal with, and Feige loses kind of the middle of the island. Alright. Finally goes down. We do see the attempts at microing in some bad... If you get too close, there's a lot of spears waiting to kill you. Trebuchet is trying to be micro. Javisty, I mean, Javisty doesn't have a lot of stuff going on right now, so at least, you know, Treb micro is working. And he's going to land some shots on these Luchons. I mean, why not? And the Carracks getting a little bit too close to the spears, and the spears are able to poke them down. Spears, of course, do deal bonus damage to ships. At least I think they still do. And this pushback on the side has happened, and Auriko's now pushing back, cleaning up this forward force. No reinforcements from Heidewolf. Heidewolf instead going to go reinforce the middle, and it's going to allow France to get a nice solid back dock set up and secure, kind of try to get a footing back on water. Forward docks are getting cleaned up, but we gotta take a seat back. And yeah, now there's some pressure here, but I mean, they've given a chance for some like building back up. So I'm not sure how I necessarily feel about Switzerland's position here. France definitely shown that they can come back if they're given it. Now we see some more dragon ships, which is what we like to see. And yeah, I think it's just a little bit of a unit composition problem and where to push and where to fight for Switzerland. They've had some really good. They have a chance. Like they are definitely in the lead here, but whether or not they can convert it is going to be a different story. We could probably take a look at the resources. How does everything look? France has plenty of food, but not a lot of wood. Still 13k wood for Feige, plenty of wood for Heidewolf. daehiise has plenty of bank, so Switzerland looking pretty solid. And they do have trade going up. Like, they have a lot of trade. Not a lot of trade for daehiise quite yet, but they're getting there. And, I mean, starting to win over here. They've cleaned up a lot of the yellow docks, but it's going to be tough to try to secure this. And you almost don't even want to kill this army. If you could just leave this army alive, then there's going to be so much less water around the water for yellow, right? But you're trading land army that's useless for water army. This is, I think, just a bad engagement. You just leave them alive. I mean, granted, you'll have to deal with the transport at some point. And now, oh no, it's a fast fire ship, not another transport. But you almost just don't, like, there's 18 hussars here, right? That's 18 ships that aren't on the field until they get transported over, in which case you have a different problem. Now pushing on the other side of the Cape again. I mean, Javisty is kind of rebuilt. Up to 85, 86 villagers. Has a full booming economy now. Yeah. I mean, they're going to start running low on resources. We can kind of take a look at how much wood. I mean, there's still 70k wood, but again, we do have the dock trading that allows. The water trading does have the 50-50 split, which is nice. Castle trying to go up again. I mean, Auriko did push daehiise back a bit. And I think this is just going to be the problem. I think if Switzerland isn't able to capitalize when they had the advantage, I think France is just going to be able to, you know, skill level them and cause some problems. And, like, you can see some bad fights happening over here, happening on the castle. No cannon galleons or something to take out this castle. Like, you had 4 or 5 cannon galleons to be taking out this castle during that skirmish, you'd be able to push through and get around to the back docks again. In the middle, again, we have the massive force of Lighty going in, and Feige just has not a lot of dragon. Like, Feige just isn't able to really keep the military numbers up, I think, that he needs. He has 175 villagers. That's the problem. The Chinese player is overboomed. 135 villagers is way too much. 42 trade carts, and you're even just getting more and more. You're going to have no military. You need to go and delete a third of your villagers, at least. So, slight sloppiness here. And we do still have, like, you know, a handful of units here for daehiise that aren't being used. There's too many villagers here. I think each of you, like, this is where the skill issue can kind of shine. If Feige realizes that he's overboomed, like, he has 87 dragon ships in the queue, but he can't make more than 1 or 2 at a time because he just pop capped. This is brutal. Oh, this is unfortunate. I think Switzerland could have easily won this game. I think they should have won this game. He's sending gold to Feige. Feige doesn't need resources. Feige needs pop space. Okay, he's deleted 40 village. Okay, we should be seeing... I mean, he has a bunch of trade cards queued up, but we should be seeing a lot more dragon ships coming out shortly. Okay, that is much better. You can see the numbers starting to climb up. So Feige realized, and now we should have a chance. But daehiise getting pushed back here. I mean, Dravidians, what do Dravidians get on water? We talked about this. Was it just docks provide space? Yeah. And they get the Thrasdi. There are those Thrasdis. I forget how good these things are, but they're going to be tough, especially when you have more units than your opponent. So daehiise not really doing well in water, has not enough wood to really make a army. This is looking dicey. I mean, he's going to start pushing back over here. Has some cannon galleons mixed in, has more Thrasdi starting to be added in. Those are some big boys. And, I mean, this should get cleaned up. I mean, these dragon ships should be doing a very good job here with the support of the cannon galleon, or the galleons and a Lutron or two. So I think this should get cleared up, and they can go and help the side. Just causing problems. Auriko's, you know, doing this. But France is kind of stabilized for now, at least, and is starting to be a little bit annoyed, harass the market. And now the cannon galleons are taking out these protective castles, and daehiise has nothing here to be able to defend against this, and the cannon galleons can just range the castles. And so long as Lighty can kind of hold them off in the middle, which he's trying to do, I mean, that's just going to allow for Javisty to have a free time just cleaning this corner up, and that is a lot of eco, a lot of trade that is going to go down. Oh, no. Oh, God, what's happening? Oh, no, Feige. Feige's economy. Definitely the biggest issue in this game. There it is, all fixed. But, I mean, the squad still hasn't been cleaned up. I mean, I thought I had some high hopes for this cleanup, but it's looking like it might not happen, and this is continuing to be a problem. Now the market's being harassed. There's just too much on the mainland. This is why you try to set up some back docks market trades as well to help facilitate a little bit more of the trade. You kind of split it into two so it's not all in one spot and clumping like this. Hopefully they should be getting rid of the wood that's blocking some of the path. But Chonkers of Sea, yeah, that's a lot of Therasi. That is 4k HP on those Therasi. And there's still, again, like, you can delete all these villagers, right? Like, at this point, you can delete a lot of your villagers. And rely a lot more on farm and just farm. Because there's no more wood on the map, right? Wood's down to 8k. So, I think some dock trades is needed to keep your wood going, right? You can't just be buying wood the entire time. You have the ability in dock, in trade, in water trade to get wood. So setting up some back docks and setting up some water trade would be huge. And yet, Auriko is, or Lighty is just doing the best job of staying alive in the middle and preventing anyone from going and supporting daehiise on the right side. And Javisty, who was out of this game, was down to 6 villagers, had his entire force wiped out from an amazing landing from daehiise, has now just countered and taken out the trade of Switzerland. And Switzerland's gonna try to, like, move their trade back a little bit. But, oh, and Lighty's landed. The Trebs are here. Those Trebs haven't done so much at defense at home. They're now home here and just dealing with all this. Just send daehiise, send your villagers to take out the Trebs. I think this is just falling apart for Switzerland. I think this is just where the skill issue comes in. This is just where the better players are able to stay alive and win and not run into issues of having too much villagers, too many trade, and over booms and take the better fights. And Auriko or Lighty continuing to fight in the middle and just not allowing any support to come to daehiise has been huge. And now this left side, Heidewolf isn't here to do anything. Heidewolf doesn't have any army. Heidewolf has 10 galleons, has no resources. Heidewolf, where's Heidewolf's resources? And Feige is floating so much wood and food, but Feige needs to send this resources away. This is where, like, unfortunately, I mean, you can see Auriko having a massive bank. I mean, that's the Feitoria advantage. That is true. Portuguese get the Feitorias. How many Feitorias does Auriko have? Ace, dude, you can't stand there. I need to see what's happening. 1 Fatoria. 2 Fatorias. 3 Fatorias. 3 Fatorias. So as the longer the game goes, I mean, Portuguese should win this. And yeah, Team France has kind of taken back control of the water entirely. Resources for Heidewolf don't look good, and Heidewolf's losing all of his trade. Is Heidewolf just gone? Has Heidewolf just snapped out? Heidewolf isn't doing anything. Only has trade. Doesn't have resources. Switzerland might just tap out here. Has 1 trade card in the queue. I mean, all the gold's reaching him, and he's spending it. Okay, so he is making some stuff. But yeah, gold is an issue. Send the wood over. I don't know, Switzerland just doesn't know what to do in this situation. I mean, power Fatorias, right? Look at all these resources. Auriko should be slinging some of these resources over. And now they're going for the back. Set up some water trade. Do we have water trade? Yeah, now we're starting to see some water trade from France to get some extra wood. And, I mean, that's a lot of dragon ships, but I don't think it's going to be enough. There's enough here from Lighty. Daisy typing a little bit of dots. May be a GG incoming. This is so unfortunate. I think Switzerland had a chance to win this game. They clearly were advanced. Yeah, and there's GG. Unfortunate. France, amazing comeback there. I think Switzerland had a really, really good plan, really good start, but I think Feige overbooming and using Carracks instead of dragon ships, and then them not really taking advantage of winning water when they were trying to clean up Daisy on the land was just... There's just... You had your advantage and your advantageous moment, and you couldn't win. You didn't do enough damage, and then at the end of the day, Portuguese. And not setting up water trade. If you had set up back dock trades when you had water control, you'd be looking really good. You'd be having wood, you'd be having gold. But unfortunately, the water was reclaimed by France, and Javisty was... I want to take a look at the statistics. Javisty economy. Like, look at Javisty's lines. Just wiped out early on. So, Javisty coming back from that is quite amazing and well played. But really, GG's to France. Like, and unfortunately, I think that's just a, if Switzerland keeps practicing, I think they're going to be able to win that map more. But that is a experience issue. And unfortunately, when they had the win in their hand, they just didn't have the experience to convert, unfortunately. So, unfortunate for them. I think that was a very good chance for them to win, but it didn't end up happening. So we're seeing Coast Mountain next. Daisy has been tapped out. It's going to be Heidewolf, Feige, and Niroxs. I would love to see Switzerland take one. But then again, for admin purposes, if it is a 3-0, we won't have to worry about the maintenance. Because that is kind of the issue right now, is we're worried about running into a little bit of maintenance. If we take a look, we got 1 hour and 26, which is... If they had won Islands, and then we had a wood game, it'd be... Like, it's... Whew. The good news is we do have a rec at some point, so I am going to make sure to message them and be like, hey, I need the game 1 rec, and we'll watch that a little bit out of order. But, oh, civs, right. Chinese, Wei, and Malians? No, Malay. Yes, it was a Malay. And then we saw the Portuguese, Dravidians, and the Wu? No. Who was the other civ? Portuguese, Dravidians. Bulgarians? No, they wouldn't use Bulgarians on islands. I forget. If anybody remembers, please tell me. Some of us are forgetful and don't think about that kind of stuff. Capture age. Actually, we can go and do replays. Refresh. Here we go. It was Turks. Okay, so Turks were on the field. Turks. So we have coast to mountain. So we're gonna see at least like I expect to see Spanish here. Maybe Mongols as well because the farther distance lets Siege and Mangudai get masked up. Could see Celts. Could see France just go Celts, Bulgarians, like Tatars or something to try to like really secure this. Tatars are good here because you have the north side pretty much all hill, and then could see as I mean you have some weaker civs. France could really get into trouble here if they if Switzerland starts showing up and winning a few, if France uses up all their good civs trying to close out, because they're left with just their weakest ones. I mean, granted, Switzerland has a few weak ones remaining too, so kind of goes both ways. Just seeing something. Hold on. Oh, that's just a twid. All right, important question. What shirt do I have on here? I have a shirt on, right? Not just a fucking. Okay, yeah. It's getting a little bit toasty in here, so I'm going to, while we wait for this game, to disrobe a little bit. Oh. I overheat way too easily, being from a cold region. Whew. Definitely a little toasty in here. Put that there, though. Ace probably gonna want to lay on it. Oh. All right. So Coast Mountain, I think, is the most unique and interesting thing here. Simply because of the stratification, we have essentially 3 different matchups that can happen in one. Because of how it's like you have the north side wood game, you have the south side water, you have the middle kind of nothing but, mobility. And so wood and gold in the north side, really. But it means that you're kind of having like different types of fighting going on. And then on the north side, there's the hills and stuff. So you kind of have like 3 little micro games going on in them. And I think that's where it's like you have some really unique, because like you kind of need to do a hybrid. Like it's just 3 mini DM games going on at once in different places. Usually just 2, because it's usually just fighting on the left, fighting on the right, maybe a skirmish or 2 in the middle. But it still, I think, in my mind, is the most interesting layout of any of the maps. So make sure I am on the right thing. Excellent. Spec dashboard. DMNC Ghost Mountain. Mongols, Burmese, Malians. Okay, so we're saving some of the really top tier civs. So France is going to be using Dravidians, Bulgarians, and Tatars. Tatars make sense. Dravidians make sense for the water, because you can just go straight to docks and try to gain control of the water. Bulgarians, yeah, makes sense. Malians, Mongols, and Burmese, interesting. Probably a little bit more heavy, cav and camels, and I wonder which one's going to be. I mean, Malians on water would probably make the most sense, right? Mongols on the hillside, and then Bulgarians, and yeah, it'll be interesting. Like this is definitely the one that I think like is the least easy to think of how you want to play it. I think this one has the most like room for creativity and strategies. But let's get underway. Hopefully, Team Switzerland can get a game. Alrighty, welcome to game 3. France trying to take a 3-0 victory against Team Switzerland. In the pink is Auriko, in playing the Dravidians on the water. The yellow is Lighty playing the Tatars. And on the wood side is going to be Javisty playing the Bulgarians, having won a massive comeback last time. On the Switzerland team, making a massive amount of castles, is going to be the Mongol player Feige. The green is Niroxs playing the Burmese. Once again, they're opening not very well practiced. A little bit too far away. Lucky on this map how far away it is. You're not going to get punished too easily from that. And then the water player is going to be Heidewolf playing the Malians. Much tighter civ, or much tighter start. And the scout from Auriko, why is he going to try to pick off any villager going for docks? And the scout from Javisty as well, going there to help support. So this is going to be a little bit nice that the France team has thought about this and has secured their water setup. You have the halberdier already there to help deal with any scouts, but they had gotten docks up. They're going to start getting some galleons out right away. And I mean, looks like Switzerland isn't even going to try for the water anytime soon, which is going to be rough for them because the water is very important, especially when it comes to transitioning into that middle game. Trying to get the trade going, being able to range the trade with your cannon galleons can be huge. We do see the castle immediately go up to try to support this. Neither team really being too aggressive. We do see the camel start from Heidewolf with the Malians, and we do see camels from Lighty as well going forward. So Tatar camels get hill bonus. Nothing too much. I don't know who's going to win this necessarily. I mean, defense bonus and with castle coming in will help. But the camels and the Malians get +5 attack, which is pretty huge. So they're going to do a really nice job here. But the halberdiers from Auriko are here to help clean this up. Castles will go up to, we can swap over to eco kills. And I mean, Heidewolf got 2, Niroxs has got 1 kill. So, and now the camel's starting to hit Javisty. So very nice camel opening from Heidewolf. Finding a few kills even through all these crepe hosts. 5 villager kills so far, but I mean, the problem is that the water is just fully secured. Switzerland not even trying. Switzerland hasn't even sent a dock over. They're just content to try to win land and not worry about this. This is almost when you send a transport over and dock your opponent's side. Or like castle your opponent's corner and cause some problems. Just harass them in that way. But they're going to get dock up. They're going to get some more docks. They're going to start using the fishing ships. Since they know they have full water control, that's just easy economy. Not having to worry about being raided by these camels. The camels of Heidewolf continuing to be very aggressive here. Continuing to cause some problems and get some kills. 6 kills so far. And, yeah. Let's get the death ball rolling. What's up, Daisy? Daisy, if you would actually, while you're waiting, if you can send me game 1 rec. We weren't able to actually spectate it for various reasons, so we still need to watch the first game. If you're able to do that right now. But yeah, we're talking about a death ball. This is looking dangerous. Like I was saying, it is... Switzerland is just not caring about the water. So a little bit early commitment. And I mean, Auriko only has 4 units, so it hasn't committed too heavily there. But this death ball is going. Switzerland's going for an all-in land push. You know, screw water, doesn't really need to worry about it. And the question is going to be what happens if they get to a mid-game and try to transition into the mid-game. Lighty trying to fight here with the camels. Elephants from the Burmese starting to come forward. Burmese elephants, of course, do get +1 armors. They get +1/+1, and then also a +1/+1. So these battle elephants are going to be very strong. But they do get cleaned up by the camels. And now the siege is starting to be ranged by some of the elephant archers of the Dravidians. The Mangudai do get pushed back a little bit. Oh, nice light cav rave of all things. But light cav coming in, sniping some villagers, sniping some units, sniping some conics, and keeping some reinforcements from Javisty in the back lines. And now they're pushing in the middle. And now here's a little bit of a problem, right? Is they're trying to set up this trade, and we have the cannon galleons here. I think they should be able to range that, but that is going to be a constant issue if they try to actually... You kind of need to secure water in order to secure that. But the death ball continues to roll full force through the middle, but these elephant archers are super chonky, and there's not a lot of siege. And now here go the flaming camels, taking a page out of the Michi book, trying to land into some units. Flaming camels are going to come forward and try to just do a little bit of Baneling micro. And they take out a lot of Mangudai here. Some nice shots landing into the mass of the elephant archers of the Dravidian, but this push is going forward. There's not a lot of Mangudai left. We do need to see more from Feige. And they are coming in reinforcements. The elephants are now engaging on the Dravidian backline. The elephants are forced to fall back. There's no trebs here. We need to see some trebs. If you added a few trebs here, we'd see some really good progress, but they're not taking out any of the buildings. They're just winning the ground fight. So not enough siege here. We do see 4 siege coming in for Heidewolf, but I would love to see a few more trebs roll in from everyone. And Heidewolf sending some more resources. And the Cannon Galleons continue to deny some markets here. I think those aren't going to happen. Dravidian Elephant Archers starting to fall back. I mean, you do have all these SOs from the Mega Die, so you could just Ferrari Siege Onager. He's through. Oh no, they're attacking ground. They're attacking ground. Oh, this could be beautiful. This could be beautiful. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, there's no reaction. Oh, look at those elephants die. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, what a shot. And then a few of them go forward. That is huge. Splat. This map is like DM Amazon Tunnel. I love this. This is the most interesting map. I was talking about it before, but it's three different kind of DM maps rolled into one. So I really enjoy it. But this push doesn't have a lot of teeth without the siege. The Rams are pushing on the south side. Auriko getting pressured here. There's not a lot here. We do have Gebettos here coming in. And these Rams are going to be doing some damage. All the attention is in the middle. And Auriko having a very much slower civilization in the Dravidians. The Elephant Archers need to be here in the middle to help support. But now he's getting ranged in the middle. We do need to see some more trebs. Oh, there's the Siege Rams. The Mongol Siege Rams are going to solve the problem that I was talking about. And France is on the back foot. It was looking kind of dicey, but this could be really solid. Not a lot of reaction from France on this push on the south side. TC is going to go down. And we're going to start seeing some range. Siege Rams are coming forward, but there's not a lot of elephants here. They need to mass us up. There's a lot of flaming camels here. There's a lot of units in defense. So these Siege Rams, as good as they are a little slower than Trebs, because at least Trebs you don't have to be they're faster than Trebs, but the problem with Trebs versus Rams, that Rams can easily be hit, whereas with the Trebs you can just set them up and they just go, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you can see here now the Dravidian Elephant Archers are coming over here to try to deal with this. Gebetto's trying to defend them, and they're taking out a bunch of the production buildings, taking out the TC. Definitely hurt Auriko a little bit. Still no docks from Heidewolf, no castle here. And unfortunately, these Cannon Galleons aren't really ranging, doing what they're supposed to. Now we see some pressuring up on here. Javisty has some Rams just standing around, thinking about maybe doing some attacks. Some villagers could get some kills here. Castle's going to go up, and those Rams are going to just have a free shot. The push in the middle continues to be annoying, continues to be deadly. These Megadai continue to get a lot of good value. But the elephants, and now here are the Trebs. We love to see this. Yes, the Trebs are coming forward. Need to see the Elephant Meat Shield help protect these Siege Onagers. And here they come with the Megadai helping, supporting. This front of the base is going to start having some problems with all these Rams coming, these Trebs coming. We see the forward barracks and workshops and everything coming forward. Dravidians have cleaned up this push from Heidewolf in the south. And he is, and there's some Gebettos here, just on stand ground, unfortunately, trying to catch some trade coming through, but the trade hasn't really been set up. And these Rams, the sleeper agents, just getting the most free kill. The villagers, fight, please, Feige. You built a castle in the face. Okay, there's an elephant here to deal with this. Is that going to be too late, though? This castle's going to go down. Oh my gosh. That is so brutal. You build a castle with 3 Siege Rams standing there watching. And the TC goes down. That just did not need to happen. And there's no Siege Onagers to help deal with these Elephant Archers, so this push looks like it's, I mean, well, it is doing some good damage. It doesn't look like it might have as much, I mean, this Trebs are starting to cause some problems. I mean, this is looking pretty good for Switzerland. They have twice the eco, twice the army, and now they're pushing in. The Trebs are here. So long as you can, I mean, this is, I think we can just add some Hussar for the Megadai, or for the Mongols, just to have more of a meat shield and like just have more random units going around and fighting. And here come all the camel or the light cav. Like, yeah, light cav, and this is gonna look dicey. I mean, Auriko has all this fishing going on, which is huge. This is when you need to like think about, hey, your opponent has water. Adding a dock and some fire ships and forcing your opponent to respond on water and deal with their Trebs would be huge. Because all these Elephant Archers are because you have infinite food and gold from the water right now. So Treb's going to take out a castle. But the forces of Switzerland are kind of falling apart here. A lot of it is in these light cav. Like, I don't think the light cav is the play. You need to see heavy camel riders, which they're switching to. And once again, we're at 150 villagers. I think Switzerland Switzerland definitely struggled here in the Team Islands game where they overboom. So daehiise, if you're watching this, make sure you tell your teammates, keep an eye on your villager count, because 150 is a little bit, maybe a little bit pushing it. I mean, 150 for Feige, definitely pushing it. 130 seems a much more better number, but there's not a lot of pop space to put into military. But they do have the forward momentum. Tatar camels are going to come in here, and this castle might get denied. I think castle does get doubted, yeah. Needs to see some siege coming in. Trebs on the side, taking out these production buildings. But the Dravidian archers are going to be able to take out, and the siege onagers landing some rough shots on the ally elephants, probably a little bit more. And Trebs starting to pressure here, but nothing defending these Trebs. And yeah, okay, now here come the camels dealing with this. This will be nice. Light cav is just, I mean, yeah, you have the resources and stuff. Good defensive siege onagers from the Bulgarians. I don't think we've seen a lot of that, but that has definitely been helpful here. Need to see the Mangudai go in and try to do some micro and snipe some of them. But the siege onagers, what do they get? They get extra armor? No, they don't get anything fancy. They just have full siege. I mean, now we see some hussars coming in. Again, no meat shield for the units of Feige. And villagers even come forward to deal with some of these Trebs. So this push is doing a lot of damage, but isn't going to be able to maintain its push. That's the big question. Auriko has a really nice eco over here because of the water. Still no docks from Heidewolf. You definitely need to consider this if you want to get on to this next level. And market still is going without any harassment. This is when you transport a villager over and just build a castle in your back. Or you go and raid the trade. But now we start seeing some camel raids from Heidewolf. Heidewolf up to 150 villager kills. All these camels getting so much villager kills, doing so much damage to France. And I mean, France is kind of surviving, but hanging on and not looking too great. Still at 200 villagers. Still not too much of a split push. A Treb or two here would be huge. The market wall up front. Beautiful. Beautiful. I was like, please tell me they didn't stonewall. But no, it's a market wall. There is no counter raiding besides all the other places. Heidewolf sending wood and gold to Feige. Feige has fixed up the villagers, which is good. Heidewolf still needs to as well. And Auriko, I mean, this is getting cleaned up a little bit. The question is, can Switzerland continue to maintain their push? That is going to be the story of this, because if they don't maintain their push and they let France kind of build back in, and no, they take it. They take it. Switzerland wins a game. I thought they were going to win islands, and I didn't think they had much of a chance on land, but they didn't go for water at all. They went for a death ball in the middle, and they won a game. Hell yeah, Switzerland. What a showing. That was a great game, great performance. Things that they could improve, but that just goes to show, like, if you can get out of the open, a lot of the DM experience can be made up. Like, I think it's the open is the hardest thing to learn, and once you get that under control, you can get to these situations and when, like, you're more familiar with, right? I was saying earlier, Niroxs needs to work on their open a little bit. But otherwise, this is a very fantastic game. I think, you know, letting your opponent have full water is a risky thing. I think you could have probably tried to counter dock and get there. But this is very well done. The push was deadly, was multi-pronged when it needed to be. Harassed a lot of villagers. 169 villager kill is massive. So well done, Switzerland. Taking a massive game. Let's go. And you have caused a massive problem because we still have an hour for server maintenance. Okay. So that was a quick enough game. So I think we should be fine, as long as we don't get a wood game. As long as we don't get a wood game. Alright, looks like Daisy's tapping in. Probably taking some of the advice, but that was coast to mountain. So now France has to pick one of their maps. Outcrop or Golden Lakes. I could see it being either one. I'm actually going to go fill up on water before this next one starts, because that was a lot of talking. And it is very warm in here. But do you think, alright, I want to hear people. Do people think that they can take another game You think Switzerland can make it go to game 5 and make me fear for my situation as an admin with the reset or the maintenance? Or, and I'll pull this up real quick while I do this. That was Dravidians, Tatars, and Bulgarians, Mongols, Malians, Burmese. The problem is Switzerland needs to play Romans here. I really hope they pick Romans. If they don't pick Romans, I'm going to be very annoyed here. We made an announcement. They will have to deal with it. If, like, I made rulings for all of this. But they still have the Spanish and Bengalis. France does have their Celts, though. But we might be seeing some slop games. That might be an interesting. I would love to see a bottom tier slop game. Oh, yeah, let's see up there. Also realized I forgot to have my lunchtime protein shake. So we might need to have that real quick. Looks like they're still going out, and it's going to be Outcrop. So we're going to see Outcrop, which I think is a little less interesting in team games than it was in 1v1. I think it's mostly just like, yeah, there's the hills and stuff. It's just kind of like you're fighting in the sides as opposed to in the middle. But it's in team games, it just feels more like Arabia. Did I get a message from Daisy? I think I did. Yeah. Daisy coming in clutch, sending me the rec. So we at least have access to the rec so we can watch game 1 again. But looks like they're in, and our focus is on game 4. I was forgetting this. I was like, what am I forgetting when I sat down? And it was the headphones. Alrighty, let me just double check that nothing else has been happening. Cool. Alright, let's get into Outcrop. Cool. That's the wrong one. I have too much on here. Outcrop, let's go. Daisy tapping back in. Switzerland kind of mixing it up. And we have the Celts and the Aztecs and the Tatars. So France kind of using some of their better civs. The Aztecs, questionable, but they kind of have not many other options. We can take a quick look at what else they actually even had. I mean, those are the 3 best remaining. Then they're down to their bottom. So they do not want it to go to a game 5. On the other hand, we see the Bengalis, the Spanish, and the Bohemians from Switzerland, which also makes sense. That is... Oh. Damn it. Well, if they ask for a re, they get a re. If not, we have a ruling. But This is a incorrect civ thing, but I'm not going to intervene. That's annoying. But, and we'll review this. I think this is just lack of information, like, not being aware. But we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping that there's a restart and they call it out. It is on kind of the onus of everyone involved to, like, there's only 6 civs left. You should have known that one of them is going to be Romans. So, at this point, if it happens, it happens. And if not, then they're just going to play it through. So no pause right out the gates, so we may as well just start it out. And then we'll deal with it in Game 5. Let me switch over. Alright, welcome to Game 4. We have Auriko playing the Aztec. Maybe they played Romans Game 1. I may have got that mistaken. But Auriko playing the Aztecs in the red. We have the Pocket, Lighty playing the Tatars. And Javisty playing the Celts. In the pink. In the blue, we have Feige playing the Bengalis. We have Niroxs playing the Spanish in the green as the Pocket. And we have Daisy playing the Bohemians in the teal. I guess Outcrop is a little bit more interesting because it is separate. Like, this is not just a flat division on both sides. So I guess that is a little bit more of an interesting. So far, Daisy has found 1 kill. And, does he get a kill here? He does manage to get 1. So Daisy wins 1, loses 1. But overall, nothing too much. We start seeing the Eagles spamming out. Aztecs Eagles, of course, get the +4 infantry. Or +4 attack. So they're going to be pretty deadly. With 17 attack. Against the Bohemians, which don't have the greatest. I mean, they have champions. So, you know, you're going to do fine there. And the question is going to be, like, we're going to get the castles up. It's going to be infantry playing from there. We have the elephants from Bengalis trying to rush here. And, Halberdier defense. And the Celts Halberdier, of course, very strong. And then once you start adding some siege in the back, it's going to be very dicey. Celts, of course, probably the best civ in DM right now, you could argue. Paladins being added. The Spanish Paladins definitely 2v1ing on this side, trying to deal some damage to their best civ in the game. With Lighties coming in support with the Camels. And Camels going to be very good into Elephant and Paladins with Halberdier support and Siege. So it's, you know, very strong units over here, but it is going to be very dicey to push into this without any Siege backup. We do see Rothas being added as well and some Elephant Archers. And so it should be very nice. And the Paladins taking a moment and going to be pushing in. And now here come the Tatar Flaming Camels. We do see some damage here. In the meantime, on this side, the champion war is going on. It's going to be 22 attack champions versus the Bohemians, 15 attacks. Do Bohemians get any infantry bonus? No. Their Spearman line does bonus 25, which is nice. But, yeah, I think they need to add some gunpowder. And Halberdiers against Aztecs isn't really the play until you see some stuff from your opponent. We do see some Eagle raids. Auriko coming over here with the Eagles, trying to pick off a few villagers of Feige. Does manage to find a few. So that is a nice little cleanup pick-off. But these Tatar Flaming Camels, you don't see them in RM, and they do some massive damage to clumps of Elephant Archers for sure. Here come the Keshiks as well, earn a little bit of extra gold, but these Camels are engaging and surrounding, and these Camels, oh, it's going to be very, if those Flaming Camels getting blocked. The only downside of using Flaming Camels is that they don't have the best unit control. But, I mean, they clean up those Elephant Archers so fast, and this push is going to get kind of pushed back. In the meantime, I mean, yeah, Hussite Wagons are going to be great against straight infantry. We do see some Jaguar Warriors now to try to deal with these Hussite Wagons, but gunpowder is always very good, and adding in the gunpowder, adding in some champions. I think the Halberdiers are just there just to be a meat shield. So Daisy's going to cause some problems on here with adding in some Hoofnies coming in. But with this push kind of getting pushed back, and now the Celt Scorpions are out en masse, this is going to be a massive push on the side, and these Flaming Camels are going to come in here and just wreck this back line of Tatar, of Dravidian Elephant Archers, or Bengali Elephant Archers. So, very cool to see the Tatar Flaming Camels being used against an Elephant Civ when they are most effective. DM Mitchie strats are a thing. And this expansion is probably going to get cleaned up. The Celt Siege push is full force. That is a lot of Scorpions. That is a lot of Siege Rams. Celts are just so deadly with their Siege. They attack 25% faster. They have extra HP. They're just so dangerous, especially into a slow-moving civ this is going to be very tough. And the Eagles continue to go and harass. Have gotten 6 kills on Niroxs. The Niroxs base, of course, not very tight, so is open to raiding. daehiise trying to push here, but some good siege play from the Aztecs. Aztecs just get very good siege. They don't get any bonuses, but their siege is very solid. And Hoofney's going to do some very good shots here. And but daehiise's push isn't very strong or fast. I mean, these Hoofneys are going to do a lot of damage. And now the problem, though, is the camels are going to come in here. Once you start pushing and the top side is won, there is nothing here. We see skirmishers. Never make skirmishers, daehiise, please. But these camels are going to come in here and do so much damage. Snipe a lot of these Hoofneys. Hoofneys try to run away, but probably should have run towards the gunpowder a little bit more. And under the castle, so I mean, you might be able to save most of these Hoofneys. I don't know if you got any of them, but this is going to force daehiise back a little bit. And the problem with that is that it allows the Celt push and the camel support from Lighty to just continue to roll forward. And I don't really think there's anything Feige can do here to support this. The Eagle's still causing problems and being annoying, so there's not a lot of support here. We do see the Conquistadors coming forward to try to deal with this. But, I mean, like, do you add your own siege? Do you add a nice little sneaky siege behind the tree line going to snipe a few Scorpions? But this is going to be dicey. There's not, I mean, it's all ranged units right now, so these camel archers, or these camels are going to be able to just land onto these units. They snipe the siege archer, and they just kind of back away. I think France has realized they don't really need to push the advantage anywhere until you get to a point where they have an answer for the Celt Siege, because in the reality, there's not a lot of Celt Siege answers. So this push is going to be very deadly. Celt Siege Rams, just the best thing in the game at melting down buildings. daehiise continue to try to push here with some camels mixed in here and there, supporting. We have some forward trade carts. But, I mean, the key thing is that, like, Auriko doesn't really need to do much right now. Auriko just needs to survive. The Celt push on the top side from Javisty is winning. And Elephant Archers trying their best to clean this up. And with the Conquistador support, I mean, they cleaned up kind of the side and are doing a pretty solid job here. But losing so much production and not rebuilding in the back. The Eagles are in the back, or a couple champions just sniping a few villagers. Feige down 28 villagers, and this siege push continues to roll forward. And while you're kind of dealing with this flank and some of the reinforcements, you don't have anything hitting the siege. You don't have paladins. You don't have any hussars or anything like that. So siege is running unabated into Feige's base and just wiping out his base. Trebs are setting up as well, and Switzerland has to call it. Yeah, they didn't get enough damage on this side, and Switzerland is forced to tap out. So at least we don't have to deal with any rulings and on both sides. So well done from France, taking a 3-1. I think Switzerland could have pushed us through Game 5 then won that Team Islands game. I think they had a very good chance of winning that Team Islands game. They just didn't get there. But we do have one more game to cast, which is going to be the... we have one more game to cast, which is going to be Game 1, since we had some issues with that. But GG's to France and Switzerland. I think France showed their experience, but again, I think they showed that they aren't coming into this tournament as experienced as everyone was expecting. And I think they need to clean up some stuff up. They need to... It just looks like they're a little bit less practiced than everyone was expecting. But they won this 3-1. Switzerland taking a game on the map that I don't think people really expected them to win. The death ball push on Coast Mountain really turned out well. And then this last game, Javisty just showed why the Celts are just so deadly. Nice use of Tatar flaming camels throughout. But Switzerland had a good showing. Switzerland definitely looking like a very strong team. I think, again, Niroxs needs to spend an hour or so learning, doing better at the open. But yeah, so we can actually hop into, let me switch over to spoilers so I don't do anything. And we'll get that file that daehiise sent me. Download. And then here we go to open profile folder. Here, leave map. Goodbye, Mr. Astafer. Downloads. An in new tab. There we go. We want to go to save game. Alrighty. That should do it. Now, fingers crossed that I was wrong and we just saw, and they did play Romans game 1. So refresh. It would have been Runestones. Okay, so they did play Romans. Okay. Switzerland, I apologize if you rewatched this VOD. I was wrong. You played Romans. Something was wrong. So you didn't have we didn't have an issue. Love to hear that. So, all right, let's just I assume this is the correct one. Because that's right before. And I believe that is here. So fingers crossed this works. No, give me 1 second. Let's go to downloads. Re-download that one, actually. Just re-download what Daisy sent. There we are. Rename. Swiss France G1. Maybe this was, I mean, it could be that I was sent one of the broken ones, so that very well could have been an issue, because, or maybe just the rec is effed, which I really hope it isn't. Save game. Move you over there. Capture age. Refresh. We should see. Okay. Oh, it's probably because it was these ones. Okay. Return to replays, return to main menu. Make sure everything goes well. We go to capture age. We have this one, which is labeled as Swiss France Game 1. And we start watching here. Alrighty. We got one more game. We will actually just settings, casting. France, Switzerland. One rec. Alrighty. This time should be good. For game 1 in this set, we know how it ends, but we need to rewatch how the first game went. In the red, we have Auriko playing the Huns with off to the very fast Hun start. No houses needed. We have Lighty playing the Hindustanis in the pocket, and Javisty with the Burgundians on the flank. In the teal, we have Daisy playing the Sicilians. Thank you for the rec. We have Niroxs playing the Malians with the green in the green with the pocket. And once again, we see kind of like that open isn't very clean. And then in the blue, we have Feige playing the Romans. And right away, we do see some good micro with the scout. Going to maybe pick a villager off? No. So Daisy does find a kill. Does get a kill over here too. So an early villager lead for the Swiss team. The only problem is that Huns get to start out very strong, start out with some Paladins and some Cav Archers, so not doing a Paladin all-in rush, but we're going to be seeing some Halberdiers come out. Any quick walls coming out from Feige? No, no quick walls. I mean, Halberdiers are going to be able to protect against this. Cav Archer going to come and help deny this castle for at least a little bit of micro. So castle should go up shortly. And the Paladin's going to snipe a villager here. Very nice play from Auriko, getting some nice damage here. And Paladin's picking off another villager. Just really solid micro early rush from Auriko with the Huns getting the early aggression. And we do see some good Burgundian rush up here. The Burgundians with their Paladins getting some damage. Daisy losing 5 villagers as well. So this open just showing just how tough it can be. And we actually have a camel war in the middle. So not a lot going on there between Niroxs and Light. But on the sides, these Swiss teams are struggling a little bit. The castles do go up and clean this push up. But Daisy is down 6 villagers. That is a very rough start. And that is going to set you back significantly. Especially against maybe a faster civ on the south side with the Huns. Siege trying to come out here. But that Scorpion is in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the military from Feige isn't really where it needs to be. These Hun Cav Archers are going to start raining hell onto these Halberdiers. In the meantime, on this top side, adding in the gunpowder of the Burgundians. Going to deal with these Halberdiers pretty well. And you see the Sergeants coming out. Not a lot of towers going up right away. We'll see if Daisy opting for castles instead of towers. Usually you want to just spam a bunch of Sergeant towers. There you go. And just start essentially doing these StarCraft 2 strategy of just getting your creep spread everywhere. Making towers, making it hell to fight for everything. Castles take a little bit too long to build. And then towers just kind of work, donjons work as production buildings as well for more Sergeants. So in the middle, the force of Niroxs is massive. But Lighty kind of taking the smart thing and just adding units to the south side, where Feige is struggling to deal with a Hun rush. Huns, of course, in the backside with the Cav Archers, sniping off villagers, sniping off Halberdiers, trying to deal with it with some Scorpions. But unfortunately, that means that the Camels are going to come in here and just clean everything up. The Rams from Auriko are going to be doing so much damage as well. Feige struggling, and here come the Camels of Niroxs, but a little bit late. They're going to be able to clean up some of this siege, probably all this siege, and clean a lot of this, but all the damage has kind of been done. The Rams being pulled away, mistake. Probably should have just gone and taken out that castle, but they will get cleaned up, and a lot of damage has been done. But I mean, that's a lot of Camels. And Niroxs actually even just raiding the base. Lighty does notice it. Doesn't lose any villagers. Defensive castle at base should be going up shortly. Yeah, it's a good defense. And it is going to be interesting to see how this kind of works. Paladins now out en masse. The Cav Archers are dealing with Cav. There's not a lot of meat shield here to deal with these camels, so unfortunately, Niroxs' push is going to be very solid here and push them back. Adding in some Centurions from the Romans is going to be nice, but the Sergeants on the top side, the Sicilians getting pushed in against the Bohemians. Bohemians going mass gunpowder, mass paladin, and now they have the hills, they have the forces, and now they can push into the base. And Daisy kind of being left alone here as the push on the south side. They need to find some damage down here, or it's going to fall apart for them. And they've gotten some damage, but I don't know if it's enough. Feige has lost a lot of villagers in the start, and it's going to be very tough to deal with. These Paladins are now sniping some siege, and there's just not military here for Daisy. Daisy just doesn't have enough military. He's going to start losing production buildings, and Daisy needs some support from Niroxs. But they've considered that they want to try to get damage down here. I mean, the double Cav Archers are going to be doing a lot of damage. Now the Camels mixed in will push Niroxs' Camels back. Scorpions are going to make it so you can't really push back too hard. And the Rams doing well over here. But, I mean, the problem is Daisy's getting washed up here. Scorpions doing their best here, but adding in some Hussars. Very smart. The Bomber Cannon going to snipe some of the Scorpions. The Hussar coming in, and they're going to be able to snipe a lot of these Scorpions. The Treb's setting up. Gunpowder in defense. Daisy needs support. And Niroxs could probably go and help clean this up. But the problem is that we have the Sergeants just patrolling. Or the Legionaries patrolling over here. Interesting. Don't really know what their plan is. Try to cut off some reinforcements. But they are finding some good damage. Niroxs is really pushing in here. the Rams from the Romans coming in. So it might be a little bit of a base trade, and we might split on the map. So we'll see how this goes. Does daehiise kind of fall back and rebuild? daehiise this is the thing that a lot of players need to know, is that if you are losing your base, you just send your forces, send your villagers back behind your opponent's base, your allies' base, and rebuild back here. And then as long as you're getting the damage done here, which is happening, you're wiping out your opponents. But you need to keep your third player alive. You need to make sure they can sneak villagers out. Yeah, you can see here, villagers are running. They go to make some stables. And they're just going to go run into the back of the base. daehiise trying to move their eco back a little bit, but not enough. This push is going to keep going in. Now the camels switch focus, and they're going to be doing some damage. Man, I'm sad we missed this game. This was a fantastic showing so far. Camel's going to come in here and try to snipe these trebs and slow down the push. And, I mean, I think you need to split your units up a little bit more. So they're going to get some good engagements here. Take out a lot of these units. So these camels from the Malians are going to do a great job of cleaning this up. And that is a very good push. I mean, it would have been nice to get that a little bit earlier, but they wanted to take out Auriko on the south side, and the Rams continue to just storm forward. But with the camels up north, this is the problem. The camels up north means that the camels of Lighty are able to kind of crack back here. There's not a lot in defense. I mean, there's the legionaries, and there's some scorpions, but those all got cleaned up. We do see the Gebettos being added by Niroxs to help support this, but those camels need to be countered with the camels of the Malians. And they're coming and running down to the south side again. This is where you split off 1 or 2 camels and take out these villagers, but like it's some good force, it's good play from Niroxs, but this is the problem, is if you're trying to run back and forth across the map, you're going to be missing a lot. You're going to have a lot of idle time for these camels and not really earning the value they need. But I mean, this push continues unabated, only not a lot here. The legionaries are doing enough to deal with this, and now the camels here, and this push is going to continue. So Switzerland's showing a very strong push here, and as long as they can secure this corner with the donjons and some castles and stuff, France is going to have a lot of trouble here. Like, did Swiss win this? There's not a game 5 going on right now, is there? Am I just the biggest idiot in the world? We'll pause this real quick. Right? The set's over. I have to imagine the set's over. This is looking really good for Switzerland. Like, how do they lose this position? Unless, like, France chose Team Islands? There's no way, right? I mean, they're still in voice chat. I think they're just playing. They're just practicing. Is this game 5? It's not labeled as such. I mean, we'll keep watching, but I'm going to pull this window over here and see if I'm an absolute idiot. But this would be shocking if France comes back from this. I mean, Javisty does have a very nice position in the middle. I should have asked who won game 1. This is a massive push for Switzerland. I mean, I see daehiise and Heidewolf in the... Okay. I mean, this push is going on. This is the worst... I mean, if I'm wrong about this is the most embarrassing thing. I said the game was over. I mean, this is looking pretty good for Switzerland. Switzerland takes us to a game 5. That's huge. daehiise's now no longer being pushed. daehiise's economy is getting back up, has a military here. France is falling back. Auriko is in the defense, only down like a third of the military. A fourth of it, even. Did I just miss? Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. There's no... I assumed Switzerland won. I think this is going to a game 5. Yeah, France calls it. It's going to a game 5. I'm an idiot. Switzerland won game 1? What? Well done, Switzerland. They're going to game 5. What a twist. What an insane twist. If you're still here, you're getting a game. You're getting a set. I called it over. I misunderstood. Switzerland was up. What? Holy crap. Alright, we got game 1 in. Switzerland won that. France won. France won, and Switzerland won. We're going to a game 5. What is happening? I apologize, whoever's watching this in the future. We're going to a game 5. We got a first game 5, I think. What? I'm so confused. Like, there's no, like, what? Okay, we're going to a game 5. And they have to play in the next 30 minutes because we're going to have maintenance mode shortly. Okay. Are they in? Alright, I guess they're in. Let's just go straight into it. This is wild. I'm an idiot. I'm glad someone here is, like, can validate that watch me do this. We have a game 5. That's all that matters. We got the rec in before they did their game 5 somehow. Maybe they were watching and keeping an eye on this, but nice to have more games. Yeah. Well, it's okay. Did they drop? Now I'm confused. This is a wild. Game 1 threw me off so bad. Like, I casted game 4, or I casted game 1 as game 4, and then found out that I was wrong about it. And now we're supposed to have a game 5. We have maintenance in 33 minutes. Will it kick up people off when they're already in a game? Like, what happens then? It was ongoing. Maybe the game ended immediately. And Daisy's in the match, so Daisy won't be in chat. So, okay, here. Okay, looks like they're struggling with the lobby. So let's make sure we're ready for this. This is turning into just I don't even know. I'm so frazzled now. I'm so confused. Like, this is just so silly. Okay, lobby's going. We saw the lobby. Here it goes again. They're struggling to make the map somehow. This is hilarious. This is an all-time low light for Caster Reel. Oh. So all right. Messaging Javisty. Picked and restored. Alright, so they have a problem with restoring. They're trying to restore, and it's failed a few times. So hopefully it's working. They might have to restart. And they are running up to the timer. So it's going to be Golden Lakes. We have the Wu, the Poles, and the Armenians versus the Romans, Mapuche, and Shu. Those are some weak civs. It is all on the line here. We had the Bengalis and Spanish and Romans already. And then we had the Celts, Tatars, and Aztecs. Wu's, Poles, Armenians versus Romans, Shu, and Mapuche. This is the low power game 5. This is what everyone wants to see. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. If you left, you are missing out. Assuming the game happens. If we have a fucking admin delay, if we have a maintenance delay too, if this like crashes or something, it's gonna be just we'll see. Let me just make sure I mark that checked. Message they are having trouble with restore. I think it here now. This is attempt number 4. All right, looks like it's working. Fingers crossed. I haven't been messaged. All right, so we had to restore. Oh, the game was already well in the way. All right, just because we're gonna do this real quick. This is game 5 for all the marbles. Let me just pull up my chat and make sure I can see this. What's the score? It's 2-2. It's 2-2. I thought it was 3-1. I'll get into what happened later. I want to catch the rest of this game, right? So, game 5, 2-2, France versus Switzerland. We have Golden Lakes, Auriko with the Wu, Lighty with the Poles, Javisty with the Armenians. We have Heidewolf and the Feige, and daehiise, Romans, Mapuche, Shu. It's all the weakest civs. They're already well into this game. I might try to get the pre-restored game, but we can take a quick look at the map and just see that there's fights in the middle. Everyone's gotten their opens through. It is in the mid game. We see water control already, but let's just go underway and see what we have. So things are going on right now. We have a lot of camel archers from the Mapuche from Feige trying to win here. The trebuchets taken here. I mean, the middle is kind of controlled by Lighty and the Poles in the middle. We do see the Polish Cavalier trying to fight against the, what even are these? Are these Bolus Riders? Oh, they're Bolus Riders. Yeah, Bolus Riders can be very dangerous in large numbers. We see some composite bowmen who are going to get buffed shortly for the Armenians, but the Armenians currently do not have Siege Ram either until after today. So if this match was played 40 minutes later, or 2 hours, this might be a different situation. The Armenians would be a little bit stronger, but they're playing right before and forced to play the weaker. This is the last tournament game of the Armenians you're going to see before they get Siege Ram. We do see the docks go up, nothing coming out of the docks right away, so no eco being up there. We do see the docks attempted here, but I think these Centurions were able to snipe some of the villagers. And we see the Arbalists and Bolus Riders trying to fight here, and they're going to win this fight down here. In the middle, the Bolus Riders are fighting the Polish Cavalier. Poles, of course, notoriously bad in DM, aren't going to be able to do much. They're trying to just batten down this castle, and I don't think that's a very smart thing. They're going to lose a lot of them. Bolus Riders, of course, get that pass-through damage, and they're going to go and just snipe these villagers. And Treb is now out trying to pressure this castle in the middle, and the gold is going to start getting probably in the favor of Team Switzerland. Switzerland looking really strong here. This push on the side has been cleaned up. The Bolus Riders just massively outperforming. and composite, the Arbalest dealing with this, and there's not a lot of units for the Armenians that are really great late game. In the meantime, the Wu over here trying with their traction trebuchets and infantry. They're kind of, France has got to run into the situation of keeping their weakest civs in the back, and that is one of the problems with the Pool 1 was that arguably they have the best highs and the worst lows, and we're seeing this right now with Switzerland maybe taking an upset here. I mean, the restore is going to be an interesting topic, but Switzerland is looking dominating right now. I mean, I was casting an entirely different game during this, so I'm guessing this game has been going on for, I mean, it's been going on for a little bit. So we'll have to maybe catch the opening at some point. But this is looking like France is getting pushed back. France is starting to set up trade markets now, get some trade in. They kind of have to rely on staying alive and trying to push through with better economy, better late game, because they've shown in these games that they kind of can win in these late game situations. Switzerland isn't the best at late game at balancing the economies, at balancing their trade numbers, making sure they don't have. We see sneak docks. The Dromans are coming out. We see Dromans in the sneak lakes. This is what we love to see on this map. You don't usually see the lakes very often played, but these Dromans are going to come out. I mean, I feel like you needed to be a little bit more aggressive with some more aggressive ships than Dromans to deal with this, because counter Kyrex and fire ships count before you can do too much damage. But this is a very nice little push. Now the push in the middle of the, what are these? I always forget what these are, guy. Haguan Cavalry. They're going to try to snipe these trebs that are left undefended, and we have massive archer battles over here. And the Bolus Riders with the Arbalests are going to do better than the Arbalests of the Poles. Poles, once again, struggling to find what unit they want to do. Obuks aren't very good here, I don't think. So you don't really want to play them into Bolus Riders, into Arbalests. And the push continues to go forward. And, I mean, the Auriko has pushed back on this left side. At least stabilized a little bit, but the Treb is out for daehiise. daehiise has some solid military, but this is kind of where it might struggle a little bit for Team Switzerland, is to make sure that they keep their militaries going, keep their productions filled, and these traction trebuchets are very strong. They can have the very nice mobility to be able to poke in and out and just lob volleys off. Centurion is trying to go snipe them, but they're going to run right into the arms of a massive amount of Poles, and those halberdiers are just going to wipe them all off, and they're going to be left unattended. The Rams going forward kind of undefended. They might be able to take out this castle with a couple hits, and the Treb backing it up. So that is going to be nice. The push is going to slow down a little bit there, but I mean, daehiise needs to respond to this. Somehow has no military here to deal with this. It's making siege, but needs infantry, needs more legionaries, needs something to deal with this military that's going to storm in and take out these scorpions. On the south side, though, the push is massively going forward for Feige and Heidewolf. If Heidewolf can find some good damage here, he's going to be able to do some serious damage to Javisty's base. The docks have been cleaned up here. Nice little annoyance. I mean, that is a lot of military. Immediately deleted by Auriko. Well played. Deletes the infantry, the military that isn't needed in the pond, and that goes away. And the pond in the south side being used as eco for Javisty. And the north side, the dock has gone up, but nothing really more being done with the dock. No fishing ships being added. Nothing of that sort. And we see slingers being added as well to deal with this, but the Arbalests and Bolus Riders continuing to cause problems here. We have some siege as well. Siege going to be a good counter for these units, but you need a lot of siege and not a lot of your opponent's units like this. So some good pushing in on the south side. daehiise getting support now from these Bolus Riders who are fighting uphill, unfortunately. There's so many of them, they're going to be able to do well here, but the traction trebuchets are landing and taking out a lot of them. And yeah, the hill bonus is just not a very good fight, but they're going to be able to help support in this push, or at least deal with this push for daehiise. daehiise definitely being a little bit of the weakest link here in this match. Being pushed back, only Scorpions in defense, needs to get their economy, has 116 villagers up. And this is turning into a longer game. Some Polish winged hussars trying to show up and do some damage, but the Arbalests are quick to deal with them. And the Arbalests just continue to match up just better than the Polish Arbalests. And we do see a lot of champions out. The Slingers and Bolus Riders have been moved away. So Heidewolf's push isn't going to be able to maintain a force here. And this castle is going to get doubted. The Treb's already on it. Hussars are in here to deal with these villagers. The Bolus Riders going up north to support. And, I mean, the middle force has been kind of collapsed upon. This push on the south side probably will continue because it's just infantry against some Arbalests. But in the meantime, this castle doesn't go up, which would have been very nice. And, I mean, now they're pushing back here. But this push from Auriko into the middle is a problem. We do see Legionaries finally coming out and flanking. Now the Scorpions trying to come in here. We do have the castle here to defend against the Scorpions. Only one trap, a second trap should come in shortly, but it's kind of waiting behind. So this is going to clean up the Legionaries, doing a good job of dealing with these traction traps, but there's champions, and like I don't know if they're getting enough damage. And the traction traps continue to run away and land shots onto those Scorpions. So this push is kind of stalling over here, which is nice. And, I mean, a good pushback on the south side from Javisty. The Rams doing a really good job of doing a lot of damage here. And Bolus Riders doing their best here, but there's not a lot of infantry for the Switzerland team. So, is that Captram? Yeah, this is the last time you're going to be seeing Captram and DM for Armenians. This is the last time. In 2 hours' time, these will be Siege Rams. So, enjoy them while you can. Yeah, if this game was played literally 2 hours later, the Armenians would be much more powerful, right? The Composite Bowmen have an extra attack. They have, I think, some more HP. Maybe not HP, but they have the Siege Ram. So, this is legitimately the last tournament match you will ever see of the Armenians in their current form. Without Captram. daehiise getting a good push on this north side, starting to go in, having cleaned up that forward force with some Legionnaires leading the way with Siege Rams going forward, dealing a lot of production building damage, and the gold in the middle is just fully saturated by the Switzerland team. The Switzerland team might be making the upset. It might as well be played 2 hours later, only 20 minutes until game forcibly shut down. Well, so that's my question, is if the game is happening, does it play to its completion, or will it get kicked off in the middle? So that is the question. We are going into a later game. I thought this game was a 3... I won't even go into detail. We'll talk about it later, because this game is happening now. But I thought it was a 3-1 in France's victory. I didn't realize game 1 was a loss for France. They chose one of Switzerland's maps for game 2. So, we'll see what happens if they finish in time, if it gets cut off. If, I don't know. We'll get that. We'll cross our bridge in the meantime. Meantime, the champion are starting to raid some of the siege, starting to deal with these capped rams and trebs, and the pushback was looking a little bit nice, but looks like it has been taken care of for the most part, and the traction trebs now dealing with this castle. The Arbalest continuing to rain hell onto these champions from the Armenians. And what do the Armenian champions even do, right? They get heal, they get extra HP, and that's pretty much it. Okay. Bolus Riders continuing to combat in the middle, and daehiise has done a lot of damage, but it has gotten pushed back. The Heidewolf cavalry and the halberdiers doing a pretty solid job. We have a lot of centurions up here. No legionaries. These Heidewolf cavalry are going to do their best to try to deny this castle that is unfortunately on the cracked ground and wildly deleting that. The legionaries trying to come in here, or the centurions trying to come in here, but they're going to fight against the halberdiers, and that is not a fight you want to be taking. That is a lot more expensive units. I mean, you're going to win this fight because centurions are kind of nutty, but it's not the trade you want. So, kind of a three-pronged push from Team Switzerland. France is on the back foot immensely, but they have set up trade. Or at least some trade for Lighty. Do we see any trade? We're starting to see a little bit of trade from Team Switzerland. But, I mean, they do have access to all the gold in the middle, so they might not feel the need to make trade right now. But you could invest a little bit in trade so you're better prepped for once the gold runs out. And now they're taking out another forward castle, and the gold is going to be harder and harder to push into. The Bolus Riders getting a massive amount of kills. 110 kills with that squad of Bolus Riders. And some siege going in from the south, from the bottom. The winged Hussar is going to be doing a pretty solid job of landing onto them. But you just see how slowed down they get with the Bolus Rider shots. So the siege stays alive. Castle once again trying to go up, but these Arbalests doubting this castle. I wonder how many times Feige has tried to put up a castle on one of these forward positions and has just gotten it doubted every single time. But, I mean, this push on the side is going forward. Heidewolf doing a lot of damage here and is starting to make an issue. Auriko, I mean, I don't want to say it, but, like, theoretically, what happens if France delays and he does kick them out? If France holds off for long enough and forces, like, I mean, that's when admins will have to get involved. I'm not going to bring that topic up. But France holding on for dear life, trying to get another castle. This castle might actually go up. This castle's been doubted at 65%, so maybe it'll be taken care of. Halberdiers trying to engage onto these Bolus Riders, but Bolus Riders wisely able to run back, and then they're going to be able to micro and take out a lot of those Halberdiers. The passive damage massive, the siege onshore shots doing or just the regular onshore shots doing a massive amount of damage. I mean, they are going to clean up maybe a couple of these trebs, but that is the forward side of their base taken out, and the shoe push on the side continues to be pretty deadly. Javisty calling out for some support, but I mean, there's nothing really here to help support them. They're dealing with the front and the side. Switzerland looks like they're going to be taking this game and winning the set with a massive upset. This could be crazy. daehiise now encroaching, doing the forward production buildings, forward castles, making the forward trebs. And, yeah, it's looking really dangerous for Team France. I mean, of course, the Bulls Riders fighting uphill against Arbalest. It's not really where you want to be. So he's going to reposition and try to get a better angle. But, I mean, yeah, with passive damage, it should be pretty good. And yeah, they're just pulled into multiple places. I mean, now you see Lighty having to go and try to deal with this push, at least force them back. The Magyar Hussar is going to, or not the Magyar Hussars, the Winged Hussar is going to run right by and try to snipe some of the traction traps. There's so many Arbalests here that they're just not able to do much damage. They're going to be able to get a couple, and those two aren't dealt with. No, okay, now there's repositions. And, I mean, those two did get a hero's death and got a couple extra trebuchets. But this push keeps going, and France has to tap out, and Switzerland with the win. The upset. We have our first game 5, our first upset in the bracket, sneaking it in before the set is, before the reset, the maintenance happens. You can see house walls from daehiise. Switzerland, I legitimately counted them out. I called them, I said that they lost a set, and I was wrong. Oh my gosh, what a set by Switzerland. This entire cast would have been different if I had known they had won game 1. And Javisty just hanging on here. I wonder if Javisty even knows. Okay, there it goes. But Switzerland winning game 5. What the heck? Crazy. GG's. I'm an absolute idiot. Holy crap. Yeah. Okay, so let's go over what happened. Okay, so here's what happened. GG's to France, GG's to Switzerland. So here's my journey. Game 1, I wasn't able to spectate. It was bugged. By the time, like, I tried a bunch of things and it ended. And so I was like, I'll get the rec. And then I saw game 2 was Team Islands, which, if we go and look at this, Team Islands is Switzerland's map. So I made the assumption that because they're playing on Team Islands, Switzerland lost. So I assumed France won game 1. And so we watched the rest of the set, and after game 4, after game 2, 3, where Switzerland won, I was like, oh, cool. Switzerland managed to get a win. And then game 4, I was like, okay, they won. Switzerland only got 1. That's fine. But that explains why France needed to use their power units in game 4 was to force a game 5. And then we rewatched game 1. And during that time, game 5 was happening, unbeknownst to me, because I assumed the set was already over. And then they had to do a bunch of restores and stuff. If I can get the first half of that game, why do you think we lost? No, you didn't lose Team Island. I thought you lost game 1. Oh, you should have won that too, yes. I thought you should have won game 1. I didn't know you won game 1. So here's the thing. Like, let me repeat that. I couldn't spectate game 1. The replay got weird. And so when I saw Team Islands was game 2, that means that France chose to play on Team Islands, right? So in my head, because Team Islands is Switzerland's map, if they lost, they would have picked Team Islands. And so when I see Team Islands, I think, okay, the only reason that Team Islands is picked is because Switzerland lost game 1. So this is on me. And also on Capture Age and Age of Empires. I had no idea. And then daehiise sent me the replay. And so after game 4, I was like, cool, let's watch game 1. So I started watching game 1 without checking Spec Dash. And then as I was watching game 1 and seeing, wait a sec, I think Switzerland is winning this game, I started panicking and being like, okay. And then I saw another lobby, and I saw it flicker on and off and stuff, and I was like, I'm going to deal with that after. So we missed half of game 5. We missed the reset. We missed game 1 live. Heidi, if you're able to send me the first half of game 5, I don't know if you're able to. I don't really know how that works. I can get the most convoluted cast of all time and at least watch the first half of that game. But we were able to tune in for the second half of game 5 because that's when I realized, wait a sec, this is actually going to game 5. So, well done from Switzerland. They played amazingly. France struggling. Yeah. I mean, I think Switzerland should have won Team Islands. I think that is a game that they need to practice and think about and not let slip. What's up, Auriko? GG's. If you rewatch this, nerve-wracking games, yeah. If you rewatch this set, just a warning, it is a caster low light. I couldn't watch game 1, and when I saw that game 2 was Team Islands, I assumed France won game 1. So I thought, yeah, you heard? Okay. It was, I feel so, like, flustered now. But it was very good games. Yeah, I think I think Switzerland is stronger than people expected. And I'll be brutally honest, I think France is showing a little bit more weakness than I think teams were expecting. I think post Netherlands show match and post losing to Switzerland, I think y'all need to put a little bit more practice in this next week to try to make sure you're ready for the playoffs and stuff. But those are some really good games. Really fun, really interesting. I think this has actually been the best set of the tournament so far, despite me having so many problems casting it. Shots fired. Yeah, I mean, the good news is that I'm firing them from my team's probably going to go 0-4. Like, I suck. So, very back and forth. It was an insane set. I'm so, like, of all the sets to have that many technical difficulties and mix things up, I'm super upset that it is probably the most interesting set. I do want to ask Daisy or Auriko, if Romans push you back twice, yeah. If I can get that first half of game 5, and I can cast that, I would greatly appreciate it, just because I missed that. I don't know if that's possible. Don't have it? Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, if we're able to get that, that's great. If not, it's loss of time. Oh well. But yeah, this is the best set we've had of the tournament so far. By far. It's a first game 5. The most entertaining. The Team Islands game was fantastic. It had such a cool opening with Switzerland landing on the island, wiping out Javisty, and then Javisty coming back and Switzerland not capitalizing enough on their water advantage, and then France making the comeback. Team Islands was a fantastic set. Costa Mountain, I think it was really cool where, like, you got debated by going heavy on water, and then it was just like, oh, there's just a death ball in our face. How do we lose that Team Islands game? It's a game I would recommend analyzing. I think the key thing is that when you had the advantage, there's two things that I noticed. There was the Chinese player went Carracks for a while instead of just mono dragon ships, and then you didn't add enough siege. Like when Daisy got wiped off essentially when you had full water and Javisty was rebooming and Daisy was getting cleaned up on land and they had a lot of units on land, you should have been ranging everything with cannon galleons, with Luchons, and that would have helped immensely secure your position. But having low eco and no more docks, yeah, that was... Team Islands was a banger. Like, that was a banger of a set. Like, this has just been a banger match. I'm so upset with all the craziness from me. Like, it is the most upsetting thing that I've had was the fact that we could rewatch it too. Like, I have nothing else planned for today. We have maintenance in 30 minutes. I was gonna go to the gym maybe. It is almost 5 o'clock. Speaking of, I do need a protein shake. Teammates say Faitorio. Yeah, Faitorio wins. That helps. No, it definitely did. Eco. Oh, also Heidewolf. The biggest issue too was y'all caught it eventually, but especially the Chinese player, I think it was Feige, overboomed massively. They were sitting at like 170 eco units for a good 20 minutes, or for like a good amount of time. It's very low wood income. Yeah, and also no one set up dock trades. That's the other thing is you need to set up the water trade and get that full wood, and then you have the land for the gold. That is a strategy. Is you half trade on water, half trade on land, and that way you can get the wood income still. Because it did run into a point where y'all ran out of wood. So. But that was a fantastic. Dock trade of the mess. Trade cogs might reroute and go through the middle. Yes, but it's still better than not having any wood. And you like select all docked. Yeah, that's where you need to do control groups. It's again, it is not fun. But it does give you wood income, which is important, right? Yeah, Heidewolf. I do think the key thing was just was over booming and not pushing your advantage. But that was such a banger set. That was such a great set. First game 5. Switzerland shown like this is first Switzerland game 2. I've been waiting to see y'all, and you did not disappoint. It was quite the set. Replay packer is going to be a pain because of restore, but we can go to Switzerland is Group E. Here we are. Switzerland France was 3-2. All right. Right, that's what we just had. I'm so frazzled from the fucking chaos. And the craziest thing, Haida and Auriko, the absolute most insane part of this whole thing was the fact that maintenance in 5 minutes. What the fuck would have happened? Like, that was the craziest part, is we were like, oh, and that's why I was like, oh, it's only game 4. It went 3-1. That's totally fine. I was just like, what the fuck is happening? Because we were like, oh, it shouldn't be a game 5 wood game. Then we, like, ran up to the time. It was cinema. Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually planned. I was just like, because I'll be honest, I did message Turfux and Sniper before this, and I was like, hey, maintenance is in 2 hours. If somehow they go to game 5, and if there's some wood games, what happens then? And we're like, oh, we're gonna have to probably like do a reschedule or something like that. But like, what happens if they're in the middle of a game? And also, it's like, and the craziest thing too is that France could have sandbagged and been like, actually, we want to wait for after we want to wait for after the maintenance because Armenians get buffed. That was the last tournament match with Armenians having capped rams. You will never see capped rams in Armenian capped rams again in DM. Just crazy. This is the craziest set of the tournament. It's insane. Oh. This was such... Siege Ram would have been insane there. Yeah. Yeah. And then composite Bowmans also get pumped, right? Like, we can look at the patch notes. AoE 2... Where are the patch notes? Reddit. Let's just go to Steam. Yesterday, server maintenance. Or is it coming out? I think the patch is applying today, right? So, like, we can even talk about what would have happened. Bounce. Like, slingers would have been different, expensive. Champies would have been stronger. Wouldn't have seen Zlotals. Oh, naval would have been different. And this shit doesn't matter for us. But Armenians, the composite Bowman would have 5 more health, and you get Siege Ram. Huge changes. This is wild. Like, just absolute cinema. Just crazy situation. Like, between me doing my casting wrong and like just how good the games were, this is the craziest set, and I don't even know what to think. But yeah, GG's from both teams. Like, I think like if France cleans up a few things, like I don't really know where France is going wrong. I think I think France is just struggling to deal with the aggression a little bit. Um, I don't know. It's. I feel like France should be doing better. I mean, they need lyrics. They need lyrics, right? What's the? I mean, have you heard back from lyrics at all? I would love to see lyrics play, but I assume lyrics is probably hard to hear. Admin overestimated a lot of our strengths. That's fair. Unfortunate, but it at least makes for a much more interesting group. I think like if lyrics were to start playing again, you'd have. I mean, lyrics was what I was hearing like former lyrics is never available. Yeah, that's true. That's right. I forget you mentioned that. So unfortunate because I would love to see lyrics. Like they're saying, lyrics is like a former top 5 team game deathmatch player. Um, so maybe you'll be able to like schedule around him for one of the sets or something, which would be great to see. Um, but that is unfortunate. Is now in progress. Yeah. Whew. What a set. So I mean,